Hello, I'm Graham Lewis, and in this short video we're going to look at generating an arithmetic sequence and a geometric sequence from a meaningful date in your life. So the date I chose was Friday the 13th of March, and it was not unlucky. It was a really wonderful day, and on Friday the 13th of March I climbed Mount Snowdon in Wales, and I have such happy memories. That's me in the green there at the front with my snow poles, and my quads were burning and I was in pain, and it was snowing and it was cold and it was fantastic. And my brother is behind me, and so I had the pleasure of climbing this mountain in Wales with my older brother who I'm very close with, and so this was a wonderful memory for me, the 13th of March 2020. So the first thing we have to do is create a sequence that goes up by adding or subtracting. To do is take the first month, the number of our month, which for me was March, so January, February, March, that's the number 3, and then my day, which was the 13th, and so the first two terms of my sequence are 3 and 13, as you see there. So because that's going up by 10 each time, I can generate the other numbers, which is just by adding 10 to the last term to get my first 5 terms: 3, 13, 23, 33, and 43. So what's the pattern in words? You must say the starting point. I'm starting at 3 and I'm increasing by 10 each time. Now, the next one is a tricky one. What is the 20th term? And I've got a little sequence to help us work that out. So when I'm thinking what is the 20th term, I want to find a really good pattern. And this is how I did it. I started with 3, and then I know I have to add one lot of 10 to get the next one, 13. To get the next one, I start with 3 and I add 10 twice, so 2 lots of 10. And that takes me up to the 23. Now this makes sense. Look, you start with 3 here. I add one lot of 10 to get 13. Then to get from 3 to the third term, I add 2 lots of 13. Because I've added, 10 I meant. So I've added 10 there and 10 there, 2 lots. To get to the next one, 33, I start with 3 and I add 1, 2, 3 lots of 10. And so you can see a pattern here, and maths is all about looking for patterns. I start with 3, and to get the second term, I add 1 lot of 10. To get the third term, I add 2 lots of 10. To get the fourth term, I add 3 lots of 10. And I'm sure you've spotted the pattern. It's always one less. So to get the fifth term, I start with 3 and add 4 lots of 10. So that means to get the 20th term, following the pattern, I start with 3 and I add 19 lots of 10, which is 193. To extend it a little bit, we can even generate a formula, because if I wanted to find the nth term, where we can input n as a number, I start with 3, I take 1 away from n and times by 10. And we have a nicer way of writing n minus 1 times 10, don't we? It's putting the 10 in front of the bracket there. So we can even extend it. But there's my answer, 193. In step 3, we have to create a sequence with the first term being the month, which is 3 again, and then the second term being my year, which it was 2020 when I climbed Mount Snowdon. And this time we have to do a geometric sequence, which means it's either multiplying or dividing every time. So what I did is I took my second term, 2020, and I divided it by my first term, 3, and I got 673.333 recurring. That means if I take 3 and multiply it by 673.333 recurring, I'll get 2020. So to get the next term, I multiply by the same number, 673.33 recurring. So this time I'm not adding, I'm multiplying by the same amount every time. And it's growing very large, very quickly. And you can see my first four terms there. So I have to describe the pattern of this sequence in words, and it would be start at 3 and multiply the last term by 673.33 each time to get the next term. And of course we got 673.33 recurring by doing the second term, 2020, divided by my month, 3. My last bit is my reflection. I gave myself a 10 out of 10. I think I did great, and I really enjoyed putting this video together. Thank you and have a wonderful day, everyone.